Good afternoon, wherever you at, whoever you are, whatever you doing. I like to say good afternoon. My name is Omare Kinsey, proud founder of the O.Y.O Empire, which stands for Own Your Own. Everything, whatever you could think of, you need to be the owner of it. All right. So, uh, quick, quick foundation for what I'm talking about today, right? Is what is the importance of credit, right? So, what is credit, right? Credit cards, loans, all types of things, right? How does that come into play in your life? What's the importance of it in your life? So, for me, I think that credit is a double-edged sword, right? It can either be a blessing or it could be one of the worst curses you've ever seen in your life. Okay? So technically, the way that credit functions right now, I'm not always a fan of, right? Because a lot of times credit scores are used to really marginalize people, right? And shut them out of opportunities for a lot of things. There's jobs that you can't get right now if your credit score isn't high enough, which is like stupid in my opinion because I'm trying to get this job so I can get the money so I won't be in debt or I won't have bad credit, that kind of thing, right? So a lot of times it can be a curse, right? But at the very bare minimum, credit and your credit score is just a system of keeping track of your word. And your word, you say, if you lend me $100, I'm going to pay you back in a certain amount of time. And if I don't pay you back in that amount of time, I'm probably going to have bad credit in your eyes. I'm probably going to be not credit worthy to whoever I'm borrowing the money from. So the the foundation and the essence of it is pay back the money that you borrow. You know what I'm saying? And I tell you what, if you borrow $100 from me and you don't pay me back, I hope you know I'm gonna look at you a little differently. Our conversation is gonna change. I want you to know that, just in case anybody plans on asking me for $100, right? So that's why, or what is credit, and so the next thing after you figure out what is credit is why is credit important, right? So why is the credit important in this day and age? Like I said, jobs won't hire you sometimes if your credit score isn't high enough. But just your access to everything in life right now seems to be connected to these credit scores, right? So the benefit is that the higher your credit, the less you pay for things, right? Which is again crazy, but I get it. I get it from time to time. I go back and forth, right? But I get it. If you go to get a car loan right now, if your credit is low, then the riskiness of lending you money or loaning you anything heightens, and so therefore your payments heighten because companies want to recoup some of the money upfront that they might lose if you decide to be irresponsible later on, whatever the case may be, right? So, but then on the flip side of that, if the higher your credit score is, the more it gives a company or a lender some sort of a screenshot of how responsible you are in terms of your finances and how you pay back money that you borrow or how you pay for things that you get on credit, right? So it's understandable at times. So right now, credit is infused in everything, and you save a lot of money by having higher credit, right? And you lose way too much money by having low credit on your mortgage, on your car, on everything that allow you to borrow. It ends up coming back to bite you, right? So with that understood, right? How is this credit score that we think of, this thing that we call a credit score, how is it created? What are the ingredients to it, right? So I'll give you those if you're asking. You know what I'm saying? So the ingredients of a credit score, right? First and foremost, we have payment history, right? And payment history is about 35% of out of 100 of the pie chart that makes up your credit score. So that means 35% of your credit score is depending on how often you pay your bills, the amount of latenesses that you've had on them, right? So the more reliable the more reliable you are paying your bills, the more of that 35% is covered, right? So most credit companies right now, or mostly everybody dealing with credit history, right? Or payment history, deals with the fact that there is something called the Fair Credit Act, which allows people to write letters to credit bureaus and creditors asking for different verification of the loan, asking for specific information, which, if it cannot be provided, needs to be taken off of your credit report, right? So, a lot of companies charge you monthly to write these letters to companies and credit bureaus just trying to dispute some of the claims that are on your credit report and trying to get them removed, right? And that's a big thing that works wonders, right? And it has changed people's lives and added so many points to people's credit score. But that's only 35% of your credit score, right? So what about the other 65%? That's where we talk to you, right? Or that's where you talk to us, pretty much. So another 30% of your credit score is made up of credit utilization, right? So that means, that's just to say, if you have $1,000 credit card, if you use $700 and have a balance of $700, that means you've used up 70% of your credit utilization, right? So that's easy enough. So a lot of times, most credit companies say that they would like you to have a credit utilization of no more than 30%, 20% being ideal, right? So how can a company that's dealing with your payment history, right, and sending letters, how can they help you with your credit utilization? The only way to help you with your credit utilization, other than getting things removed from your credit report, is to actually pay those bills, right? And I don't really think it's too many companies that's going to say, hey, we want to help you get your utilization down. Let me send you some money, right? Nah, it's not really happening like that. So that's where we come into play, right? Because there is money that you have that you're not using or that you don't know is yours, right? So through cash flow management, we help people to understand where to extract money that they already have, but that's being taken away by different entities. And with how to extract that money, bring it back to yourself so that you can pay down debt 3, 4, 5 times faster. And as you pay down debt, your credit score rises because your credit utilization is going down, right? Boom. That's that. Now, after credit utilization, right, we have length of credit history, right? So the longer that you actually have a credit card, right, this is 15% of what makes up your credit score, right? The length of credit history that you have. So someone who's a little older, who's had a credit card for 15 years, right? That length of history builds and continues to fatten or make more attractive their credit report, because it makes up 15% of the credit report. So the longer that you actually have cards, the longer that you've had credit extended to you, the higher your credit score goes, depending based on that 15%, right? The next two things that makes up the credit score, right? One, you have the mixed use, right, of credit. So the different kinds of credit that you have: credit cards, loans, store cards, any variation of credit that you can receive, right? That mix, a healthy mix of installment payments or installment loans, like a student loan, or revolving debt or revolving loans, like a credit card. A good mix of those together makes up the uh, the mix, uh, the mixed credit that you need to have to show lenders or give them a snapshot of how you operate. Lastly, we have the last 10%. The last 10% on your credit score is new credit, right? So the different credit that you apply for, the hard inquiries, the soft inquiries that come with applying for new things, applying for a new apartment, applying for a new loan, car loan, whatever kind of loan you take in, a new card, whatever you're doing, those new types of credit. Uh, However, all of those are compiled, they make up 10% of your credit report, right? So, with all those elements of your credit report, we can see that if we listen to commercials, if we have been watching TV, if we have been looking at different companies and how they operate, we can see a lot of times that they're only dealing with one section of this credit report, right? And so if we deal with the credit score and your credit report on a holistic level, now you're able to drastically improve credit scores. Because the fact of the matter is, when I listen to commercials, a lot of people are like, oh, it changed my life. My credit score went up 30 points. It's like, okay, that's cool. But we've been able to see people go up 80 points, 110 points. The largest that I've seen from our company is 200 points, right? So that's to say that the amount, your credit score can only go up to an 850, right? So there's only a limited amount of increase that you can get. But to help somebody move from a 450 credit score, right, to a 650 credit score is going to make a drastic improvement and change towards their life, right? So that's what we do. Not to down anybody else or try to knock any other companies, but just from my experience, 30 points is cool, 100 points is better, 200 points is amazing, right? And so this is what we have the capability to do for everybody and anybody that we work with, right? So I just want to give you a brief overview of credit, what credit means to me, what it means to you. And so if you would like help with your credit report, right, credit score in a holistic fashion, right, not just dealing with one aspect of your credit and, kind of putting a ceiling on yourself in terms of your improvement and increases, right? So what we do here at the O.Y.O Empire, right, connected and powered by my econ, we help people not only raise their credit score, but we help people understand what their credit score is and show them how to do it for themselves. And essentially, once you have the basis and understand of how to do it for yourself, you can help to do it for others, right? So if you'd like some more information, please get back to me, right? My name, O.Y.O Kinsey. My number, 929-274-5855. One more time. 929-574. No, that's not it. Damn. 929-274-5855. And we can start 929-274-5855. And we can give you a credit consultation, see where you at, and give you the perfect roadmap on how to get where you are trying to and you need to be. Get back to me. Peace.